the Super Eagles of Nigeria is that the big boys are in camp. I'm talking about the likes of Victor Osimhen, Umar Sadiq, Ademola Lookman, Samuel Chukwueze for the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against the Lone Stars of Sierra Leone. That game will be taking place on Thursday this week. And for Jose Peseiro, 2 friendly games and a defeat to usher in his reign as the new technical advisor of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Welcome to Nigeria Super Fan Forum. Of course, this is a preview of that game. I remember that, of course, the Super Eagles will also be traveling to Marrakesh, Morocco on the Saturday to face I'm talking about to face Sao Tome and Principe in their second qualifier for the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. Right there, that will be taking place in Cote d'Ivoire. Kyle Degunari, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Femi.
A lot of Nigerians have been a little bit unsettled about following the back-to-back defeat in the friendly game against Mexico and Ecuador. And the NFF, particularly NFF President Ahmad Pinnick, has told Nigerians to calm down. You guys calm down, like we say in local parlance, calm down. But a lot of people, they see it as what will come under Peseiro. Now we have a tougher task. We are playing Sierra Leone, a team that know the Super Eagles in and out. Remember the last 2 encounters we had, no victor, no vanquish. But Kadi, let's talk about the preparation. The big boys are in town. Osimhen, Sadiq, Ademola Lookman, Samuel Chukwueze, talk about them. Kadi, what do you think, or how much of morale boost do you think that will be to the rest of the players?
Let me start quickly by referring you back to how you opened the program. The fact that we played 2 games, back-to-back losses against Ecuador and Mexico, I will not set any much store by it. Friendly games by their nature are not meant to score points. They are meant to see your team in a different light, under different against different opposition. It is the lessons that you take away from those games that will matter, not the results in themselves. We had a Peseiro who came into the team barely 4 or 5 days before their first game against Mexico, and he took charge fully in the second game. This will be, by my calculation, this will be Peseiro's first
major test.
His first team that he drew up the list himself. Probably from what he saw in those 2 games. That's the games that we are taking away from those two games. Now that having seen the 2 games, we now decided, okay, you know what? These are the players who have caught my interest. Let me bring them together for this game. So in that, I do not fault the 2 games. Forget about the result. The most important thing is what he has learned from those 2 games about the players. He's still getting to know the players anyway. But we're going to see, like we said, this is against a team that knows Nigeria because we've not beaten them in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
But they've also not beaten us, if you flip the coin. And whether you like it or not, Nigeria are still a bigger team than Sierra Leone. No disrespect. We are still a bigger team. I expect Nigeria to beat them. This is no cap.
Not on paper now.
No, not on paper.
In terms of quality of players.
Everything. I think where the Sierra Leoneans will get their confidence from is the fact that they came from a 4-0 deficit
down in Benin in 2020
to
draw level 4-4,
and we were only able to force them to a 0-0
draw in
Freetown. So that will show their confidence, but I hope they do not get overconfident. I hope, because they are coming to face a Nigerian team which dynamics has changed now. This is a team that lost the World Cup ticket.
This is
a team that is
trying to
supposedly still angry, wants to redeem itself with the Nigerian fans, and they would go all out to beat you silly. 2, this is a team that is playing under a new coach. Everybody is trying to impress this coach. So they are not going to give 99%. They will give 101%. Everybody. Nobody excluded. So this is not the right time for Sierra Leone to meet Nigeria. This is not the right time.
Sure?
This is not the right time for Sierra
Leone. Because we saw Sierra Leone at the AFCON and we know what they can do.
Femi,
we know what they can do.
Without trying to pull down the abilities of the Sierra Leone or rain down on the achievement what they did at the AFCON. See, sometimes competition is different from qualifiers. You can see a team that is wretched in the qualifiers, they go to the competitions and they become something else. Sometimes you see a team that has done very well in a qualifiers, they go to the competitions and they fizzle out. You ask yourself, where has this team gone to? So for me, whether in or out of competition, ordinarily, Sierra Leone should not be a problem for Nigeria. If they now become a problem to Nigeria on Thursday, then there's a problem with the Nigerian team. And like, I'm going to be very, very brutal. Like the government did to the basketball team, I think it is time.
Come on now. We are still reeling from this 2-year suspension on basketball in Nigeria.
So
I don't think football will ever come to that. I think a lot of people, even the president will say, no, this time, no, I'm not doing that. Okay, before I come to Peseiro being under pressure, let's look at the home-based players. We had 5 home-based players, in fact, but 4 got to make they got the chance to make their national team debut. But in the list that Peseiro himself released for this the game against Sierra Leone and Sao Tome and Principe, no home-based players were included. Do you think that is a loss of confidence in the players, in the home-based players?
Not really, Femi. What I think is this. I think Peseiro has seen enough in the 2 games played, even though we lost those 2 games. But like I say every time, losing friendly games they are not really a barometer by which you measure a team. Friendly games by their nature are just to test certain aspects of the team. But Peseiro has seen enough in those 2 games to invite the players he has invited, not an indictment of the home-based players. One. Secondly, the home-based players were in the team because some so-called regulars were not available. And you have to consider the positions where these people play. You are talking about Victor Mbahoma, who I think is one of the best players in the local scene. But you are having a Victor Osimhen back. Incidentally, Victor for Victor.
You are
having a Victor Osimhen back in the squad. You are having a Sirodesa who did very, very
Sadiq
well.
Kumar,
you are having a Sadiq Kumar who has had a very wonderful season in Spain. You are having all of these big guns coming back. So where do you expect a Victor Mbahoma to play, for example? But for me, he's still a part of the team going forward. But for this game, for the 2 games anyway, Peseiro has decided to pitch his tent with these players. They are known and tested. They are tested and trusted. So for me, I'm not sure it's an indictment on the local players. It's just trying to get your priorities right. Because Femi, if anything should happen,
or maybe to try to avoid the costly risk.
If anything should happen in those games, you will be the first to say, why would you bring in a Victor Mbahoma when he has a Victor Osimhen, when he has a Sadiq Kumar? So I think he's just trying to edge his bet, play it safe. That I think is what has happened there.
Okay, I was speaking with ex-international Ifeanyi Udeze.
Okay.
And he said the losses or the defeat in the international friendlies have actually put Peseiro under pressure, because this game against Sierra Leone particularly, he has to win. Do you agree with that, Kayode?
No, I do not. And I have enormous respect for Udeze, but I do not agree. And I will tell you why. In his defense now, Peseiro will tell you that he did not pick the team that played those 2 games, and you know.
But it is under record, or it is on record that Peseiro took charge of these 2 games.
Yes, he took charge of the team that was put together by another person. Sally should put the 2 teams together. Let's not forget that. I'm just saying. But the fact is, he's not going to be under pressure because they are friendly games. He would have loved to start better, on a better footing. But no, it is what it is now. He has lost those 2 games to Ecuador and Mexico. Now this is the crunch. This is the first competitive game. What will you prefer, Femi? That he won those 2 and lose against Sierra Leone?
It could have as well. No, win the 2 games. Win the 2 friendly games. Come to Sierra Leone, take them to the cleaner.
Now you are becoming an Oliver Twist.
You know how much you are paying for. Yeah, we are paying.
Oh God, I wish you are not going to go down that road. How much are you paying him?
Even if we had got a Laurent Blanc, we'll have paid him, Kayode.
Let's move on to the program. I know you are trying to.
Okay, let's talk about. We've used this platform to canvass for a chance for Adeleye.
Yes.
And finally, it is here, Kayode. Do you expect that at least they should give him an opportunity either against Sierra Leone or against Sao Tome? At least let's have someone, since Maduka Okoye is out of this, let's give someone who will give Uzo at least a kind of competition in this.
I think we missed the opportunity to do that in the friendly games. the other goalkeepers.
They say he couldn't make it because of visa issues.
I mean the other goalkeepers. You could have tried either Ojolonleke or Adeyinka, the guy from Akwa United.
Yes.
We could have done that. That's why we have friendly games. We could have done that. But see, the thing here is now everybody is working on eggshells. Nobody wants to make mistakes. This is a team that is trying to get back into the good graces of Nigerians. Any mistake now, let me tell you something. I've been around the Super Eagles for a long time. When they play games, the first question they ask you, if we go away, if they are playing outside Nigeria, they ask you, bros, is this game on TV?
That is what they request you.
They ask this question because nobody wants to be called Femi spoiled the game. I know of a particular player who played the penalty once. He lost the penalty, and the first question he asked me coming out of the pitch was, did they show this game? And I was like, I said, even if they don't show him now, we go right see person will lose penalty. You understand? So for me, everybody wants to be in the good graces of Nigeria. You know the abuses that Uzo and Okoye went through from Nigerians in the immediate past.
AFCON and the World Cup qualifier.
And some people are actually alleging that that's why Okoye is staying away from the national team now, which is not without merit. Although I wish he would just reconsider and come back. Mistakes are made every day, but nobody wants to make mistakes. So the coaches also don't want to make a mistake. If they play Adeleye, for all we care, for all we know, Adeleye is for everything that he has done in Israel, he's still an unknown quantity. Most Nigerians don't even know that he was a part of the 2017 under-17 team that had Teremofi and the likes. So they don't know him. If he comes in and makes a costly error, it will bounce back on the coaches, and that will be the end of his stay in the national team anyway.
So we should rather stick with Uzo.
Let's stick with who we know who has made mistakes.
Who cost us? We can say who cost us the 2022 World Cup ticket.
Femi, if you saw the game against Ecuador, it was the reason why the scoreline was 1-0. It could have been as much as 4-5. I saw the game, you did not. You were busy sleeping.
I saw the highlight. You
saw the highlight. You didn't see the whole game, so you will know that Uzo has actually redeemed himself, so to speak. And mistakes are always made in football. Every goal is scored because somebody makes a mistake. If there are no mistakes, if there are two perfect teams, no goals will be scored. So I hope Adele's time will come in the team, but let's go with the guy we have come to know.
Okay, let's quickly address an issue. Yesterday, Brentford, that is the team of Frank Onyeka, they raised an alarm that Onyeka is not yet fit. Meanwhile, he is training with the Super Eagles. We'll be looking at that, and of course, we'll be looking at the any implication of the Super Eagles playing that game behind closed doors. We'll be back to look at those. Please stay with us. Welcome back, and it's still Niger Super Fans Forum. Of course, we've been doing a preview of the Super Eagles game against Sierra Leone. Remember that game will be coming on Thursday this week. Kayode, we never envisaged that Wilfred Ndidi could be this absent, in this period of time from the Super Eagles, and we kind of struggled. We saw it in the qualifiers against Ghana, and we only left with two defensive midfielders, Innocent Bonke and Frank Onyeka. But yesterday, a statement from Brentford said Onyeka is not fit, and I'll quickly read that statement. The club said Frank Onyeka will join with his national team ahead of the match with Sierra Leone. Nigeria played two friendlies last week, losing to Mexico and Ecuador. Frank has not played for Brentford since March due to an ankle injury and missed those two friendlies international. He is not fit again and has been brought into the group. Kayode, meaning that we still have the defensive midfielder, one that is half fit. I'm talking about injury-prone Innocent Bonke. We know he's injury-prone. He was also injured during the friendly. So, Kayode, aren't we vulnerable? We saw that against Ghana, and here we are against Sierra Leone. And we know the kind of fight that Sierra Leone will bring to us right in Nigeria.
It is what it is. unlike club football, that once you are lacking in one department, you go out and get a player, you pay top dollar and you get a player. That unfortunately does not happen with international football. You have to make do with whatever you have. I will say that it's unfortunate that in that same position we have lost in the day Frank Onyeka is not fit according to his club. Innocent Bonke, according to you, is injury prone. And
No,
we
he
have
is.
an Etebo who is, for all intents and purposes, who
Not-
hasn't seen action.
We can say he's also not
He
totally
hasn't
fully
seen
fit.
action. Then you can understand where Shea Abdullah, because you were asking off camera, what is Shea Abdullah doing in this team, comes in. Shea Abdullah started as a defensive midfielder. I hope he still remembers what the duties of a defensive midfielder.
But we
still
saw that
is.
he could not fit in very well to that role again in the second leg against Ghana.
You don't throw players into a game of that magnitude and expect them to play in a position that they've not played in ages. Everybody will struggle. Anybody will struggle. But if he cannot do it against Sierra Leone now, then he's not fit. He's not fit to do anything in the national team again. But for me, I think there will be players, capable players, who will come into that. And I think so. That's why I am not surprised seeing the home-based player Jose Peseiro in the team. I guess it's one of the fallback options for Peseiro. If these guys that you've talked about, if eventually Onyeka is out, the guy did well against Ecuador. I saw him.
Though he trained, Oreka trained with the team yesterday.
Yeah, but training with the team and actually being able to play. What if he starts the
fitness.
game and he gets cropped again? So Jose Peseiro did well against Ecuador. I saw him play against Ecuador and I think he did creditably well. So he is an option there. Although we have to do something quickly about this defensive midfield position that is becoming, what do you call it, for Nigeria.
And we don't know for how long they will be out for.
Well, hopefully before the beginning of the season, it should be back, but definitely not for these
For
games.
the qualifiers.
No, not for these games.
Okay, let's look at Sierra Leone. I know that, like we said earlier on the program, the last two games that we have that finished 4-4 nil-nil in Freetown must have given them some confidence. And you also reckon that.
Yes.
Now let's look at, they're going to bring a bigger fight into Nigeria, and knowing fully well that there will be no supporters in the stadium for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. What would be the implication of that?
But you know, I think having those supporters in the stadium could actually be to Nigeria's advantage. No pressure, nobody to shout at you, nobody to say, nobody. You are there, you play your game against opposition that is below you, according to FIFA rankings anyway.
On paper.
On paper, yeah, they are below you. So you don't have the pressure of people, people's burden, the fans' expectations and burden on you. So I think this should work in Nigeria's favor. It is the Sierra Leoneans who should actually be afraid that, although they would think conversely that because there won't be fans in the stadium that they have an advantage, no, it will actually be counterproductive for them. Because without fans to shout at the Super Eagles, they will sit down, play their game normally, and they will take they should take the Sierra Leoneans apart. The key to this game will be scoring an early goal. If they are able to get an early goal within the first 15-20 minutes, it will set the tone for the rest of the game.
Okay, Peseiro has talked about changing the style of play in the Super Eagles. Do you think he should start with this game, if he has the personnel to actually effect whatever style of play he adopts?
I saw traces of that in the two games they played against Mexico and
the lineup,
the formation and the formation, and because they lost, people tend to overlook some of those little things that I noticed in that game. Of course, he's going to continue the revolution with this game because if he doesn't, when do you want him to start? So he will start. Although I hope he is not going to make too many drastic changes. He should just introduce incrementally. It could be counterproductive. So he should just introduce whatever changes he has in mind incrementally. Maybe a player here, a player there, until he gets it right. And there's no better platform to do it than in a competitive game like this. So for me, I think that's the way to go. We should do away with this laid-back approach, Femi. It has not helped us. It worked against us when we played Ghana.
Particularly with the strength we have forward. So why do we now decide to?
That's one of the unfortunate fallouts of Eguamon's exit from the team. You saw them at the AFCON that they were quickly trying to get into forward places, getting players in playing ahead of them. Once they have the ball, they are quick to lob it in front. That's the way to put the opponent on the back foot. But you see Nigeria taking too much time playing at the back, tossing the ball around the back line, and by the time they decide to go forward, the opposition is ready for them, and they stop them at the halfway line. So for me, I look forward to the changes he's bringing to the team.
Kadi, before I ask you about your preferred formation for this game,
Okay.
my fear is still in the midfield.
Okay.
Because I think Aribo might have too much work, too much things to worry about,
Exactly.
in the midfield than feeding the strikers. Because when you have an unfit Onyeka or an unfit Bonke doing the dirty job for you and releasing the ball to you, how much trouble is that going to bring for us? Because I'm sure the Sierra Leoneans will be aware of perhaps what we are facing in the midfield and try to do the same thing that Ghana did when it came to Nigeria. Because you remember what Ghana did? They tried to choke that midfield and they got that opportunity and that was it.
Two things for me. The first is, if Sierra Leone wants to do this, do they have the kind of personality that Ghana had in that game? One. Secondly is, like I always tell you, do not let us belabor ourselves with what is beyond our control. Let us face what we can control. We cannot control who Sierra Leone will bring into the game. What we can do is fashion a winning formation. And for me, the best formation is the formation that gets the ball into the net. All we want is victory. However, Peseiro is going to do it.
1-1.
Even if it is
8-1-1.
Even if it is 10-1, just the goalkeeper and 10 attackers, I do not care. All I want is let us win this game, because winning this game will do two things. It will ease the pressure on Peseiro. One, it will set the tone for the rest of the qualifiers, because Femi, having Sierra Leone and Sao Tome in a group with Nigeria
It should be
like
an
an
insult
insult.
in the park for us.
Like an insult. We should be beating these people black and blue. But unfortunately, we are at a situation, at a point where our football is at the lowest, is at the lowest level it can be. So we are trying to work our way out of that depth now. And the best way to do it is to serve notice of what we are still capable of doing by beating Sierra Leone decisively. If we beat them, well, Femi, even when we go to Sierra Leone,
To send a message.
they will think twice before they come out at us. Seriously.
Okay, Kayode, lastly, before we run out of the studio, let's look at the qualifier against Ghana.
Okay.
We had six players who were not born in Nigeria.
Yes.
But we threw them into that game. Now, we might still face the same scenario against Sierra Leone. This is African football. That game, we heard that Kevin Bassi, he lost gas in that game. According to what a lot of people have said, they say he looked tired. Now, we threw, what is it called, this Watford man, Emmanuel Dennis into the fray. Ademola Lookman, even though I was impressed with his performance, then we had the Oyibo who has always been around. But people were complaining that players who were not born in Nigeria, who were not born in Africa, they are not even familiar with African football that much. We threw them into that game. Aren't we likely going to face the same scenario here?
So there are some people who believed we lost the ticket because we played players who were not born in Africa.
Didn't you see the comment online? They even went as far as they said if Okoye had been there, it would have been 7.
See, let me be honest with you. The Uzoho who was there, did Uzoho play for any Nigerian league team before he left? In the best in the team.
They were saying they've acclimatized they grew up here, they were born here, they've acclimatized.
Femi, we lost that game not because we played. The Bassi that they've talked about, over the last 2 games that we played since the World Cup ticket was lost, Bassi has been our best player. You saw him against Mexico and against Ecuador. He has been our best player. Aribo is the hope, the hub of the team now. We expect Dennis to score. We expect Ademola Lookman to come and score for us. See, I think what happened then was, when we lost that ticket, it was so painful. We were just looking for scapegoats. And the easiest scapegoats were those boys. Innocent boys. They didn't do anything wrong. Coming back to play for Nigeria shouldn't be seen as an offense. The fact that we lost that ticket was not because of them. Okay, if you were talking about them being the reason why we lost, what happened to the guys who were born here? What did they do in particular? See, some of the best players that we have now are some of those who are born abroad. For whatever it is worth, I will take an online over anybody you are bringing into that right full back. I will take the same for
Over Abdullahi Shehu.
Definitely, even you will not take Abdullahi Shehu over Olaino.
You don't know what I want.
In the middle of the park, we will take a true second, even with his loss of form, and the Leon Balogun ahead of any other pair. So what are we talking about?
I would prefer what is it called now? I prefer Leon Balogun and Kenneth Omeruo.
Well, that's your choice. Thankfully, you are not the coach. There's a semi Ajayi too.
As well. He had a fantastic season with West Brom.
And he did well against Ecuador too. I saw him against Ecuador.
Even AFCON, he did well.
So for me, see, the choices we have now, depending when we grow, we have these local players that you people are shouting about, is to go with these players. We lost against Ghana. We should quit the pity party. That is gone. Ghana have moved on. They are preparing for the World Cup. We should also be preparing for the AFCON. And the right way to prepare is to forget about who is playing. Make sure that if you are bringing a player, whether he's born in Nigeria or born outside, make sure that they are the right fit. They have the right quality and the right mentality. That's all we ask for. Not where they are born, or who is their dad, or who is their mom. The most important thing is they are Nigerians, regardless of where they grew up or where they are born. They want to play for Nigeria and they deserve to be in the team.
Okay, up front, Kayode, as we close, we have a lot of options, particularly in the defense and in the attack. In midfield, we are still kind of trying to wrap our heads around what might likely come up. But in the attack, surely Osimhen will start. But between Desas and Sadiq, who would you say Osimhen should partner with?
I think Osimhen and Sadiq playing will be like almost like for like. I would rather play Desas with Osimhen rather than Sadiq. You could bring Sadiq in at any time, at any point in the game. I would want to see him, Desa start, because he did very well in the 2 games that we've seen so far. He has shown that if you allow him to start games, he has something to offer. So why don't you just let him continue and start this game? Let him start against Sierra Leone. There's no harm in doing that.
Okay, so your scoreline, Kayode.
Femi, I do not want to do scorelines. But I'll do for this.
Please do scoreline.
For the sake of this, I'll do a 2-0-3-1.
2-0-3-1. In favor of Sierra Leone?
No, in favor of Afghanistan.
Okay. The Super Eagles will be traveling on Saturday.
Yes.
They'll be traveling on Saturday for the game against Sao Tome and Principe, because Sao Tome, that game will be taking place in Morocco, in Marrakesh, because Sao Tome and Principe do not have the facility to host them. A game of that magnitude. That kind of surprised me.
Why?
If till now some countries cannot afford them, I don't know, in Africa, because you see countries like Belarus, you see countries like Cyprus, you see countries like Latvia, they have pitches standard enough, some to even host UEFA Europa League final currently. But here, this is an AFCON qualifier, and
no, actually, let's be fair. It's not as if these countries do not have stadium.
The standard enough.
No, the standard now is what they have to meet up.
That is what I'm saying. It's the standard I'm actually talking about.
No, they do not.
That's what I'm saying.
They do not.
That is why
and it's about a lack of maintenance. It's about a lack of putting the proper things in place. It's so sad that Sao Tome will be going all the way to Morocco to go and play. That means for a team that doesn't even have playing at home is a big problem. Now they have to go all the way to North Africa to go and play their games. So they will have just
maybe they will have to fly to a particular country, then maybe complete the rest of the journey by bus. I don't know. Really carried it.
They will get there, and I think this will send a message to their home country that they should be putting facilities in place.
Liberia also had that during the AFCON qualifier.
Yeah,
we played the game in
yes, and I'm very sure the president is working to make sure that they upgrade their facilities to the standard that is expected. You cannot have a president of like George Weah, and they will have a country where they do not have sports facilities.
A former world footballer of the year.
So he would definitely do something. You know the problem they had before, and that's why I think we should applaud CAF. Before, no matter how your stadium is,
CAF will allow you to play.
Now it's no longer like that. CAF has designated some centers where if your stadium is not good enough, just choose any one of these stadiums to go and play. Now they will.
Ghana almost fell into that trap.
Yes, countries will be forced to pick countries where to pick other venues to play, and that's very, very insulting and embarrassing anyway. If you have to leave your country to go and play in another country because you do not have the right facilities, so I see things getting better.
All right, Kayode Gundare, thank you for coming on.
It was a pleasure.
So wish the Super Eagles all the best. You said 2-0, 3-1, right?
2-0, 3-1.
2-0, 3-1. So Eagles will have at least 2-goal margin scoreline. Okay. So, like I already said, the game against the Lone Stars and as well against Sao Tome and Principe should just be butter and bread for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Remember, the big one will be at the tournament next year. So we hope, we wish the team all the very best, and they should be able to do that easily, even without their home supporter. Remember that FIFA banned the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja following the violence that erupted after Nigeria lost the 2022 World Cup ticket to Ghana in March. So don't worry, as far as the Super Eagles qualifiers for the AFCON is concerned, we'll be taking you closer to the action. We'll be bringing you all the news that you need to have. And of course, we'll be back to do a review of that game against Sierra Leone. Until then, we say have a wonderful time for yourselves. Bye for now.